Well, today we're going to give the old 55 Chevy pickup truck some love. We got a lot of stuff to do to it, but we can't get started until we get out of here and go get some parts. Let's go. And we're headed to O'Reilly's. We've got to pick up a part for a hot rod. So let's take a hot rod to do it. We're about to get to work. 4-link, gas tank, exhaust, wiring, all on a 1955 First Series Chevy truck coming up now. Well, after a short run to O'Reilly's to grab some parts, we're back here working on it. First thing we got to do, we've got to get our front engine compartment wiring harness pulled through and the rear wiring harness pulled through the frame and ran to the back. We're going to hide these wires the best we can. We're going to wrap them up. We're going to put a little baling wire on them and pull them through the frame nice and tight and let them come out right where they go. That way, nobody will ever see the wires, but just in case you have to work on them, they're still easy to get to. Now, I love hiding wires, but I hate trying to remember where I hit them when I'm on the side of the road. All right, so I'm going to get these unwrapped. I'm going to show you how I pull my wires through tight spots. Be careful. Tape your wires up good to where they won't get snagged on anything. Make a loop in the end of your longest wire. Make a loop in your baling wire or soft wire. Tape everything up and pull it through. It works great every time. Okay, the next part of the front engine harness is the wires that go to the starter and the wires that go up to the alternator and the air conditioner compressor. Now, these wires are always hidden when I do a job, and I'll usually run the alternator wire inside of a piece of transmission cooler line or fuel line. I'll paint it the color of the engine. I'll make me some standoff brackets that bolt to the valve cover brackets or somewhere on the manifold. All of my wires are hidden inside of there, even if it takes 2 wires. If you've got one single exciter wire or alternator trigger wire or an AC wire, you can run that inside of a brake line. You want to cut the ends off, of course, of the brake line. You're going to run your wire through there. You're going to paint the brake line whatever color you want. You're going to put some heat shrink around the end of the brake line and the wire. Heat shrink it to where nothing can get up in there and everything's nice and hidden. If you do it just right, that hard line will disappear and all you've got left is about 1 or 2 inches of the actual wire, and that looks really, really nice on a nice high-end hot rod. Even if it's not a high-end hot rod, it makes it really nice. Keeps the wires nice. But anyway, enough talking. Let's see what else we've got to do today. All right, now I'm getting the rear wiring harness together. I'm going to feed it through, get it all hooked to the frame where it won't get damaged, and pull it all the way back to the back. Well, this little video is full of tips and tricks on stuff that I've learned from over the years. Not a how-to or anything like that, but I hope you get something out of it. We've got a lot to do today, so let's keep on moving. Can't stop now. Well, we made it to the back. Thanks to my Olight and a creeper, I was able to get up underneath this thing without putting it on a lift. Got all the wires tied up to the inside of the frame where you're not going to be able to see them. They're not going to tear, drag, chafe, split open, and get any road debris on them. They're hidden as good or better than the factory wires. I've got it all the way pulled through to where I got my turn signals for the rear and tail lights for the rear. I've got the gas sending unit wire and an extra wire pulled for a fuel pump to go to the tank. And everything else, as you saw, as I built the wiring harness, I branched everything off with the measurements in my head that I took. Hey, let's not talk about my hair. I've been under the car, this thing on, and it's wintertime, so I just got through pulling off a little stocking cap Anyway, back to the car. Branched off each one of the little wires that needed to go to certain things. Everything's wrapped up, taped up, double, and I've got it ran through some wire looms to where I can hide it inside the frame rail. Take your time, follow your instructions if you haven't done it before. Easy to do. It's a busy day in the shop today, and I gotta get back to work. Right now, I've got everything pulled and wrapped around the dash. Here's where I hid the unit, the fuse block, under the dash. I made a little bracket there that you can see. Everything bolts to it. You can sit right here just like we are now and replace any fuses that you want. When you get up here and you look at it at a car show, you can't see it. So it's just out of the way. Now I'm going to replace all the different knobs and stuff and make it look more factory. I've got the gauges pulled through here already. I've got the cigarette lighter pulled through. I've got radio wires pulled through, ignition switch wires pulled through. So I need to build a harness for the AC unit, which I've already got installed. We'll get that wired up. We may put a seat heater in, a butt warmer. So I'm going to pull wires for that. I'm going to pull some extra wires under where the carpet's going to go. I've already got the wire pulled through here. And basically, I've fished all of those out with the wire that you see here. I even cut part of the wire, and I use it as a hook to keep it from fishing itself back out. All that is soft baling wire. We got everything pulled for up front, wrapped around the frame horn. Got a wire pulled for the electric fan, exciter wire, charging wire for the alternator. Of course, I've also got those coming up from the back. Now, usually I'll run these wires through here in a tube. So I'll get a fuel line / transmission line. I'll color code it, paint it the same color as the engine, same color as the car, flat black, whatever I want to do. I cut the ends off of it. I flare the ends on it. I run the tubing through. I'll heat shrink it where it comes in, heat shrink it where it goes out to keep oil and debris from getting up in there. But it just hides the wires, makes everything look nice and neat up underneath here. And all you see is a little pigtail coming out right here. It'll go down beside the valve cover, hook down over the valve cover studs, and aim straight down, and your wires come out, go into the wiring harness, and then there you go. All you see is a few wires going into the sensors, the alternator, and the spark plug wires. Keep it clean. All right, what's next? What a great time to subscribe. Hit that button. Now we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of grounding. We got to ground ourselves. Need to make sure your ground is good. Go on, get down to the bare metal. Get that main ground. Go into the battery, to the chassis, and to the back of the motor. You want to keep everything grounded. We get all that done. We're going to bolt it down really good. We're going to put some of that steel camel grease, electrical grease on it so it won't corrode. We're going to repaint these valve covers. We're going to get them out of the way. They're not quite the same color as the engine. And then we're going to move ourselves to the back. We got to remove the gas tank, remove the four link, finish the exhaust. So don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more work to do. All right, so before we remove the four link and the exhaust and the gas tank, we need to go ahead and get the exhaust brackets in the exact place. We need to check our clearances right here for our exhaust pipes. Now, we're not through with our pipes yet, but this is where the pipes are going to end for now until we get to the back. Now, this is that custom gas tank that I built last year for it. It fits in there like a glove. I got to drill some holes for it, but first we're going to have to drill some holes, thread this shock mount to where we can hook our clamps up for our exhaust system. Then we'll pull the exhaust system off, paint it, put it back in, finish the four link, put it back in, and then we'll get to the gas tank. Let's one thing at a time. I drilled the holes and tapped them. Now we've got a stainless steel bolt holding the exhaust system on with a rubber cushion. Anytime you've got that exhaust going straight to the chassis, it's a good thing to put a little bit of rubber isolation between the metal parts because the vibration will go back there, and you'll thank me later. So we got that done. All right, so I'm not sure what order I'm in, but we are going to have to finish the exhaust tabs. We're going to drill and tap those. There's one down and one to go. Drill that out. Now we're going to run a tap in, get it all secure. There we go with the tap. Got that done. Now that that's in place, we may go ahead and put that tank back in and double check it. Then we're going to pull the 4-link out, the exhaust out, paint the exhaust with some high heat paint, put the 4-link back in, gas tank back in, and check that all off the list. That was a lot of work in one day, and we're still working. Well, it's a rainy Saturday morning. I'm trying to get this video set up and ready for you guys to see bright and early Sunday morning. Very, very stormy outside, but all that's telling me is that spring is on the way. So don't forget to set your clocks back or forward or however that works. My wife knows, and so does your wife. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That sure helps me out, makes me smile when I know that you're watching. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. As always, if you're through watching, get out in the garage and go build something. See you guys in the next episode. Spanky's gone.